So in this video, we're going to use the power of Pug to create a really nice email template and then send a welcome email based on that template. And that template is welcome.pug here. Okay. Now, just as before, I already have a template here in DevData templates. So email template. And so it's all of this code here with this CSS also inlined. So a ton of CSS. So let's copy all of that here into welcome.pug. Okay. And here up in the bottom, you see this note where I say that I actually adapted this email template from this one. So let's very quickly open that. All right. And so our email is going to look a bit like this one. All right. Now, of course, I adapted the design a bit to our brand. So for this button here, I used our green color, for example. Okay. But kind of what I used is this HTML template. All right. Then I actually converted that HTML using this tool. So HTML to Pug. So again, let's take a quick look at that. And so basically what this allows you to do is to paste some HTML in here, then click convert, and it will output the Pug code for you. So that can be very handy when you try to convert some existing pages that you already have in HTML to Pug. Anyway, when we're building an HTML email, we always need to inline all the styles. And so that's why you have this ton of CSS right here inside this file. But of course, this makes this file a bit noisy. And so let's grab all of that and export it. All right. So yeah, so that's it. So cut it and here create a new file. And then just as before with files that I'm gonna include, I use the underscore, then style.pug. So paste that here. And now we need to also adjust all this in setting here. And so again, Command-Shift-P, or probably on Windows, Control-Shift-P. And then just write Pug for beautify Pug. And so that makes our code nice. Close that one up here. And now include underscore style. Okay, and now you see all of this code down here, which looks really confusing. And that's actually the reason why I copied this template from that GitHub repo that I showed you before. So there's a lot of tables going on. And that's because many email clients actually only understand tables for formatting. So we have all this stuff here that's not really meaningful with table rows inside of tables. All right. But what matters here is this content area here. And so this is the part of the template where we're going to put all our content. Now, the thing is that we, of course, will have many different templates. In the case of this project, we will actually only create 2 ourselves, but there might be many emails for many situations. And so, of course, we will need a way of reusing all of this code that is outside of this content. So basically, all of this here should be reusable. And actually, that's exactly what we did before with our base template here. Right? So we put everything that is reusable for all the templates inside of this base. Then we have our block there, and all the other templates then simply extend this block. And so that is exactly what we will do now. So let's actually go ahead and cut all of this from here, create a new template called base email, and then put that here. And now for the content itself, of course, we removed that from the base. So cut that one from here. And here, let's create then a block called content again. All right. And so now here in our welcome template, we then put that content inside that content block. Okay. And now just to finish, we then need to say that it extends so that this template here extends the base email. Okay, let's format this again with this command, and that's beautiful. Great. Now here in our base template, we actually have now the subject as the title. And so that is the reason why I passed that into the template. So that is right here. Remember? So into the template, we passed the subject, the URL, and the first name. And so let's now go ahead and use these in our template. And so the subject we already used here in the base, but that's actually it for this file. So we're not going to touch it again. And so now here is our real template. So we have here the name, and so let's actually replace that with the first name variable. So first name here, then we have all this nice text here. So welcome to the family, all that stuff. And then down here we have that green button that I talked about when I showed you the template on GitHub. And so on that button we say upload user photo. And so here we need to specify that URL that we passed in. All right, so it's called URL, right? And so, yeah, we put that on this button here, and that's actually it. All of the rest here is just static content that we do not need to change at all. All right, so this welcome template here will now get used whenever we call send welcome. And so let's now actually go ahead and do that. So from where do we want to send the welcome email? Well, that is in the auth controller, and I believe there is a sign up function or register or something like that. And it's right here. So this sign up, and so into this we need to import the email and then use it. And actually already we have send email, but now remember that is called email. So with a capital E like this, right? Now we used that variable before somewhere down here. So let's go there. All right. And so this code here at this point is no longer working, but we will fix that in the next video. So for now, let's just comment it out so that it doesn't do any damage. Okay. But anyway, let's now use this email class right here. So new email, and then remember first up is the user, and actually VS Code knows that and shows that here. And so user is the new user that we have up here, and then the URL that we're going to create here in a second. So const URL equals, let's put it to 0 for now. Okay, and then send welcome. And now all we need to do is to actually await this send welcome function. All right, so we do that we only move on here to the next step after the email has actually been sent. Okay, and we can do that, of course, because send welcome is an async function. Remember that. And so when we actually use it, we then wait until it finishes. All right, and so this is all we need to do in order to send emails now, but we still need to specify our URL here. Now, what URL do we actually want here? Well, remember that here on the button, it says upload user photo, right? And so basically we want to point to that user account page. So basically right here. So for now, let's copy it, but we will then change that. All right. And we could leave it like this, but then it would only work in development and not in production. Because of course, this here does not exist when we're in production. And so instead of basically hard coding it like this, we will get this data from the request. So basically we will get what protocol we're using. If we're using HTTP or HTTPS, and then also this host. Okay, and both of that we can get from the request. So let's replace all of this here and make this a template string. And then we can say request dot protocol, then colon // and then request dot get. So we need to use this getter function, and what we want to get is the host. Okay, and so when we're in development, then of course this here will be the local host on port 3000. Okay, so let's just console it just to make sure. Okay, and now let's actually then test it. And all we need to do for that is to just create a new user. So let's do that here in Postman. So sign up. And now in our body, let's create a new name, let's say test user. And here, all of this doesn't really matter. So let's just say test@nators.io and with the same standard password. And so now when we create this new user, then we should get a new email into our mail trap so that we can take a look at it. So let's try that. And we got some nice error down here. So let's take a look at that. And it says that it couldn't find this file. So there's some error in our email handler here. And so let's try to find where that is. It's down here. And so the problem is that the folder here is called email, and here I called it emails. So let's just say email. I prefer that one. And so now it should work. Oh, and now we get the next error because this email here already exists. And that's because in the previous step, we actually did create the error. The only problem was then with sending the email. So let's do that again here, test2. And one more error, this time coming directly from Pug. So only named blocks and mixins can appear at the top level of an extending template. And so something is wrong here. And indeed it is. So that's actually exactly the error that they told us we had. And that is that we can only have extends and block, but here we have this paragraph also at the top level. So that's not allowed. So let's put it where it belongs, which is right here. Give that a save. Try it one more time. And of course now we get this error. So let's say test3. Okay, now we're good to go. So we successfully created a new user. He is logged in. And now let's take a look at Mailtrap to see if we actually got our email. So Mailtrap. Let me log in here real quick. And here is our Nators inbox. And indeed, here is this new email from a minute ago saying welcome to the Nators family. Great. And it actually looks really nice, right? So that's all the text that we had in our template. We can also see the complete HTML here, right? Also, here we have the text. And so remember that we created this one here from the HTML to text package. And so we can confirm that it works just fine as well. And yeah, let's just try to click here on this button. And indeed, it takes us to our account page. Now, right now, we're actually logged in as Araf because we already were logged in as that user. But that's not really the point, because this email here kind of supposes that you are signing up from the website, right? Now, that doesn't work at this point, so we don't have any sign-up form on our website. But the really important part here is that our email here now works just fine. The button here also works. And so that big email handler that we created in the last lecture is doing its job just as well as the email template that we created in this video. So I'm really happy with this result. Next up, let's do something similar for the password reset emails.